Guys, you're welcome back to my channel today. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video, we'll be cutting and sewing this very simple playsuit that you can see on your screen. If you're interested, keep on watching and let's get started. So I'll first of all draft on this pattern paper before I transfer to my fabric. So guys, this is a cut together playsuit, meaning it does not have any joining on the waist area. Okay, so I will have to extend my crotch line. So before I start placing my measurements, I'm going to take out 3 inches from the center front, as you can see me doing. So I'll place my tape like this and I'll mark 3 inches all to the end of this pattern paper, and I'll roll a straight line. I'll connect all the dots into a straight line. So the next thing I'll do is to take half of my shoulder measurement. So the start of this pattern paper is going to serve as my shoulder line. So I'm going to place half of my shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement is 16 inches. Half of 16 inches is 8 inches. So I'll place 8 inches. After doing that, I'll also go ahead and take the neck width I'm working with, which is 4 inches. I also marked the 4 inches. For the neck depth, I'll be using 5 inches. So it depends on how deep you want your neckline to be. So I'm going to mark 5 inches in order for me to get a straight line. Okay, after doing that, I'll connect like this in a square shape, and then I'll use the curved part of my ruler to create the round neckline. After doing that, guys, I'll go down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'm taking the 1 inch on that dot that I have, which is half of my shoulder measurement. I went down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll slant from that point into the neckline area like this. After doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to take half of my round armhole circumference, which is also 8 inches. So I'll mark 8 inches and I'll roll a straight line across. So after sewing mine, guys, I realized that the armhole area was too opened, and also the neckline was kind of big. So if you want it to be moderate, I'll suggest that you take 1 inch, at least 1 inch from your original measurement. Okay, it will make it more firm. I don't know how to explain. So on the shoulder area, since this is a sleeveless playsuit, go ahead and take out 1 inch from your shoulder measurements, and on this round armhole measurement, go ahead and also take out 1 inch from it. I hope it helps. So guys, the next thing I did was to roll a straight line from the shoulder slope to meet the chest line. After doing that, I'm going to take half of this straight line. What I have there is 8 inches. Half of 8 inches is 4 inches. I indicated the 4 inches with a dot. On this chest line, I'm going to take my bust circumference divided by 4. I indicated that with a dot. After doing that, I'm going to connect from the center of that straight line to meet the dot that I have on the chest line like this. The next thing I'll do is to alter the shoulder area. So I'm going to go inward from this original armhole area by 1 inch. You can do 1.5 inches if you want. Okay, for me, I'll just take out 1 inch from what I have on this shoulder, and then I'm going to use my ruler to connect from that point to meet the chest line like this. Okay, after doing that, this part of the armhole, this part is going to serve as our new armhole. The other one was just like a guide for us to get this one. Okay, so I'm going to like shade out this part, so when we are cutting out the new armhole, not this one. Okay, after doing that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start taking my points. Second point I will take is the distance from my shoulder to my waistline. My shoulder to my waistline is 16 inches, but I'll be adding half an inch to that measurement for ease. So I marked 16.5 inches and I rolled a straight line across. The next point is the distance from my shoulder to my hip line. Okay, mine is 24 inches. I'll be adding half an inch to that measurement for ease. So I would advise that you add 1 inch or 1.5 inches because this is a cut together playsuit. As you can see, mine was a little bit rumpled on the crotch area. So if you want it to be free, go ahead and add 1 inch. Okay, I added half an inch to mine, so do 1 inch or 1.5 inches depending on how free you want it to be. So after doing that, I went ahead to roll a straight line across. So I'll label my chest line, my waistline, and my hip line. The next point is the length of my playsuit. So altogether plus hemming allowance, I'm going to take 35 inches and I'm going to roll a straight line across. Okay, and I'll label this line. So guys, next now I'll do is to start placing my measurements. On the chest line, I already have my bust circumference divided by 4. I'm going to add 3 inches to that measurement, okay, for both stitching allowance and ease. As you can see, my paper is not enough, so I'm going to add extra paper to this, okay. If you don't have enough paper, you can add the allowance on your fabric when cutting on your fabric, but I'm going to add extra paper to it just so you guys understand what I'm trying to do. So guys, I've gone ahead to do that. I'm going to go ahead and place my bust circumference divided by 4, which I already have on the chest line. I will indicate that and I'll add extra 3 inches to that measurement for both stitching allowance and ease allowance, okay. So you can do more than 3 inches and you can do less than 3 inches depending on how free you want your playsuit to be. After doing that, I extended my line to meet that point. On the waistline, I'll place my waist circumference divided by 4. I'll indicate that, and I'll also add 3 inches to that measurement for hemming and ease allowance. Sorry, stitching and ease allowance. I'll go ahead and connect the dots on the chest line to meet the dots on the waistline, as you can see me doing. After doing that, on the hip line, I'm going to place my hip circumference divided by 4. I'll indicate that and I'll add extra 3 inches for ease and stitching around, just like I did for the chest line and the waistline, okay. After doing that, I'll use the curved part of my ruler to connect from the waistline to meet the hip line like this. After connecting, guys, I'm going to place the same measurement that I have on this hip line, which is 12 inches. I'll place the same measurement on the hem line and I will indicate that. Then I'll connect straight down from the hip line to meet the hem line. So guys, after connecting the lines, this is what I have. The next thing we'll do is to create our crotch extension line. To do that, I'm going to go down from the hip line by 4 inches and I will indicate the 4 inches with a dot. After doing that, I'm going to go out on that 4 inches by 2 inches. So if you are a plus size, you can do 2.5 inches or 3 inches. For me, I'll go out from that 4 inches by 2 inches. I'll also indicate the 2 inches with a dot. After doing that, I'm going to use the curved part of my ruler to connect from the hip line to meet the 2 inches like this. After connecting, guys, this is what I have. The next thing I'll do is to go down from that 4 inches dots. I'll go down by another 3 inches. I'll indicate the 3 inches with a dot. I'll use the curved part of my ruler to connect from these 2 inches to meet the 3 inches like this. I hope you guys are not confused. After connecting, I'm going to blend it into the hem line, as you can see me doing. Okay, after doing that, guys, we are done with the drafting of this front pattern. So we'll be using this front to cut out the back. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. Pay close attention so you know where to cut. After cutting, guys, this is what I have. I'm going to place this on my fabric folded into 2 and I'll go ahead and cut. So you can go ahead and add half an inch allowance to the shoulder area and also to the front part, because you are going to be sewing it together, and the crotch area. After cutting, this is what I have, guys. I'm going to go ahead and remove my pins and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So like I mentioned earlier, my fabric is folded into 2, okay, and this is for for the front. I would have easily cut out the front and the back together, but I want to extend the crotch line for the back. Okay, so this is what I have. I'm going to pin them right sides facing right sides, and I'm going to go ahead and use the half an inch that I left on the front and on the crotch area to stitch it together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pin. After pinning, I'll go ahead and sew. So guys, I've also gone ahead to fold my fabric into two, and I placed my pattern to cut out the back. As you can see, I left excess fabric on the crotch area, so I left about 2 inches. So if you're a plus size, you can do 3 inches, 2.5 inches. For me, I'll be using 2 inches, okay, for the crotch line extension for the back. Okay, what I'll do is to mark out the 2 inches just so the crotch on this pattern paper and that of the fabric is sitting together. After doing that, I'm going to connect from that extension into the hip line, as you can see me doing. So I'm using the curved part of my ruler to connect like this. After connecting, this is what I have. I'll also connect from that extension to meet the hem line, as you can see me doing. After doing that, I'll go ahead and add half an inch allowance all around the center. Okay, so you can do 1 inch, especially if you want to add zipper to your play suit. You should add a zipper. For me, I did half an inch, which is enough for me. Okay, so you can do 1 inch. I'll add all the way around. I also don't forget to add half an inch to the shoulder area. After doing that, I'll go ahead and cut. So guys, I'm done cutting, and this is what I have. I'll go ahead and remove my pins. After doing that, I have this for the back. Okay, I'm going to place them right sides facing right sides, and I'll go ahead and pin. After pinning, before I sew, I'm going to leave my zipper allowance. Okay, so go ahead and measure the length of the zipper you want to use, and then you leave it and sew from that point. So I'll measure about 11.5 inches of 12 inches. So that is the point I'm going to sew from. I'm going to sew all the way to the crotch area. Okay, I've gone ahead to do that for the front, guys, and this is what I have. The next thing I'm going to do is to use my bias to pipe the armhole area and the neckline. I'll do the same thing for the back. So I'll be using my own fabric for as my bias. If you have a bias tape, go ahead and use your bias tape to pipe both the neckline and the armhole area. So guys, I've gone ahead to do that. As you can see, I used my own fabric as my bias. I piped the neckline and the armhole for both the front and the back, and I left my zipper allowance open. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and fix my zipper for the back. Okay, so I'm using this zipper, so I'm going to go ahead and just fix it in place. The next thing I did was to cut out this pocket that I want to fix to one side of the front fabric. Okay, so the wideness of this fabric is about 6.5 inches. So go ahead and cut out your pocket. It's very easy, and figure out where you want to place it. I'll just go down a little bit from my armhole area, and I'm just going to place it. After placing it, I'll go ahead and sew all the way around it. Okay, so guys, after sewing the pocket in place, I also went ahead to fix my zipper, and this is what it looks like. The next thing I'll do is to place the front and the back piece together. Okay, because I want to fix pockets on the side, I'm going to place them together like this, right sides facing right sides, and I'm going to figure out where my waistline is. I've already gone ahead to cut out this pocket. I have 4 pieces, 2 for the right hand side and 2 for the left hand side. So I'm going to figure out where my waistline is, which is obvious because of the curve that we have there. So I'm going to mark it out, and I went down by 2 inches from my waistline and I notched. After sewing, I realized that my pocket was too low, so I think you should sew your pocket, pin your pocket exactly on the waistline. Don't go down by 2 inches from your waistline like I did, because my pocket was really low. Okay, so just pin from the waistline. So after notching, I went ahead to also notch the other side. I'm going to go ahead and pin the pockets in place. So I'm going to open up my fabric and I'm going to place the pocket right sides facing right side of the fabric. So I'm placing from where I notched. Okay, so like I said, place yours from the waistline. I'm going to pin. After pinning, I'll sew it. Okay, I'll just sew. Okay, so I've pinned one. I'll go ahead and pin the second one. Make sure the pocket is facing the fabric, right sides facing right sides. After pinning, I'll go ahead and sew them together first of all. Okay, after pinning this side, I'll also go ahead and pin the other side. Guys, after pinning my pocket in place, this is what I have. Okay, so go ahead and pin all the way around and then go ahead and sew. So for me, I used 1 inch to sew from the armhole area. Okay, sew all the way, sew around the pocket and then sew like this to meet the base. You can use half an inch, you can use 1 inch to join both front and back fabric together, and repeat the same thing for the other side. After sewing, guys, I'm also going to go ahead and hem the base. Okay, so go ahead and open it up, fold it like this and then fold it over depending on how much fabric you left for your hemming allowance. Okay, after hemming, go ahead and place the crotch together and then you go ahead and sew. After sewing, go ahead and turn it inside out. Guys, after sewing everything in place, this is what I have. I've sewn the crotch line, I've sewn the side, I've also gone ahead to give it a good press. The next thing I'll do is to cut out the strap that I'll be using to tie on the shoulder area. So the length of this strap is 19.5 inches and the wideness is 6 inches. On fold, it is 3 inches. Okay, to know how much fabric to fold for your strap, go ahead and measure what you have on the shoulder area of your top. Okay, mine is 3 inches. Okay, so that's what you'll use to cut out your strap. Just add about 0.25 inches to it because you're going to sew. So what I'll do is to sew this part close. I'll sew all the way down and I'll turn it inside out. I'll also go ahead and iron. So you're going to cut out 4. I already have 3 that I've sewn in place, and I also went ahead to turn it inside out and I gave it a good press. So this is what I have. This is what you'll be using to tie the shoulder. Okay, so the length of this strap depends on how long you want it to be. Okay, depends on how long you want it to be. So I'm going to sew this one. I've gone ahead to sew it. I've turned it inside out. Okay, so one part is closed while the other part is opened. So what I'll do is to bring in the shoulder area. So do not close the shoulder area of your playsuit. Okay, so I'm going to now fix the shoulder area inside this strap. Okay, what I'll do first of all is to fold in the strap, as you can see me doing. Fold in about half an inch or 1 inch. Okay, after folding, you are going to now place the shoulder area inside the strap. Okay, so make sure you arrange everything in place as you can see me doing. Okay, the shoulder area should be able to fit into the strap if you measured it correctly. Okay, so I'm going to arrange it inside like this. After arranging, go ahead and pin. Okay, after pinning, then you can go ahead and sew. So what I'll do is to head over to my sewing machine after placing all this, and I'm going to go ahead and sew. After sewing, guys, this is what it looks like. This is what I have. Okay, so like I said, it should be as long as you want it, so you can go ahead and tie it exactly how you want it. Okay, you can make it into a bow, you can just tie it and drop it just like you see me doing. Guys, yeah, that is all for this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Guys, don't forget to like this video, leave your questions in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.